What's up, basketball heads? Harrison Graham here from NBA Now by Chat Sports. And the NBA Draft Lottery is looming on Tuesday, which means we've got a pre-lottery mock draft. NBA heating up, playoffs, off-season upon us. So a lot of fun times here at Chat Sports with lots of coverage. Coming up on today's show, we'll go through our first-round mock projections. Producer Coop cooked up this glorious mock draft. But before we get to those picks, shout out your favorite NBA team down in the comments section, whether your team's still in the playoffs or not. Make sure to represent in the comments. And if you don't have a favorite team, shout out your favorite player. We know a lot of hoopers out there like to follow, wherever LeBron is playing, etc. So shout out your favorite team and or player in the comments. All right, let's go through our mock draft here. Detroit Pistons obviously aren't guaranteed the number one pick of the lottery on Tuesday, but should they get it or anyone else, I think there's one man for the job. It's Victor Wembanyama out of the Metropolitans out in France. Listen, the guy's 7'4". He's athletic as hell. He can block shots, shoot the three, handles like a shooting guard. He's just a freak, man. If his body holds up, which, guys at that size, there's always some concern there, he could be generational. He's got that type of ability. So I think whoever gets the number one pick, I'd be shocked if it wasn't Wembenyama. Number 2 overall, it's Brandon Miller, the wing out of Alabama. I think he could play 3 or 4 in the NBA, but he also handles like a point and a 2 guard, shoots the ball well. He kind of reminds me of Brandon Ingram. Like, he's not quite KD, but I think they got similar games. He might even be a little bit taller than B.I. I'd have to double check on that, but he can ISO. He can play within the flow of an offense. I think he's instantly a 20-point scorer in the NBA. Number 3 overall pick to the San Antonio Spurs, it is Scoot Henderson. Obviously, that debate between Henderson and Miller will continue to heat up. I think it depends on the fit. With Houston, they've got a lot of guards. I think getting a wing, a guy who can play some 3-4 and Miller makes more sense. San Antonio, getting a guy who could be a floor general or play off ball like Scoot, I think I like that fit as well. He can score at all 3 levels. Number 4, Amon Thompson, who's been playing with the overtime elite, has some wing versatility along with his brother Audrey Thompson. Both of them playing with the elite. Amon with goes to the Charlotte Hornets in this mock, and then Audrey goes to the Portland Trail Blazers. I think most mocks and analysis we've seen here at Chat Sports have Amon going a little bit higher, so we'll stick with that. He goes to Charlotte. His brother goes to Portland. Speaking of Wembenyama, will Wemby be a bust? This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, reply B for bust, S for star. Kid's got to be a stud. Type S for star down in the comments. Jarris Walker, the forward out of Houston, he lands with the Orlando Magic as they continue to compile young talent here. Anthony Black, the guard out of Arkansas, a couple of Razorbacks going high in this mock draft. We'll get to a second Arkansas player in a moment, but Indiana lands Anthony Black here. Grady Dick, the wing forward out of Kansas, really got it better throughout the season. I think early on as a freshman in college playing for a prestigious program, he kind of just settled for a lot of jump shots, but really trusted the handle, started to attack the rack, good athleticism. I think his arrow is pointing up. He goes to Washington at number 8. Cason Wallace, guard out of Kentucky. He lands with the Utah Jazz with the number 9 pick in this mock. And then the Dallas Mavericks, who if they keep their top 10 pick, or if they stay inside the top 10, they keep the pick. If they fall beyond 10, which if one team, 11 through 14, leapfrogs them in the lottery, they would not keep that pick. It would convey to New York. They get Cam Whitmore in this mock, who's got some 3-and-D ability out of Villanova. Now, will the Mavericks keep their pick? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, type in for no. We'll find out. Like I said, it only takes one team to leapfrog them, but maybe they land in the top 4. They get a little lottery luck. You never know how it's going to play out. 11th pick here, Nick Smith. I mentioned Arkansas, the second player here. Be curious to see if he or his fellow teammate goes higher. We got Smith going 11 to Orlando. Taylor Hendricks out of Central Florida. He's been mocked a lot to the Mavericks. We've got him going to Oklahoma City. I wonder when OKC starts to use some of these picks to trade for a proven star, because they made the play-in tournament this year. Do they draft another player here? Do they use it in some sort of trade package for a vet? We'll have to wait and see as we get to the offseason. Keontae George, the guard out of Baylor, I think one of the more polarizing players in this draft. I think 5 years from now, we could look back and he could end up being a top 5 player from this draft, or he could be out of the league. He's freaky athletic, really talented player. He can score at all 3 levels, but doesn't take very smart shots, turns it over a lot. So he's still a little bit raw. Like, he needs to tighten up his game a little bit, but the upside is massive. Kyle Filipowski, the center out of Duke, he goes to the Pelicans here at number 14, one of the better pure bigs in this draft. And then it's Jet Howard, the Michigan guard. He wraps up the top 15 here, going to the Atlanta Hawks in our pre-lottery mock draft. Speaking of, we're going to be live for the NBA Draft Lottery this Tuesday. I forget what time it is, but we'll be live probably an hour before the lottery hits. We'll break down who gets the number 1 pick and the rest of the lottery, and then we'll roll into a watch party. I think it's going to be Western Conference Finals Game 1. So exciting night on Tuesday and exciting content to come. We're going to increase our NBA coverage here. It's that time of year with the playoffs getting deeper, with the conference finals almost here. NBA offseason rumors heating up. Don't miss any of it. Hit that subscribe button. All right, we'll go chunks of 5 here to wrap it up. Derek Lively, another big out of Duke. He lands with Utah. Jordan Hawkins, the guard out of UConn, goes to Los Angeles with the number 17 pick. Ryan Rupert, the wing out of the New Zealand Breakers there. He lands with the Miami Heat. Chris Murray, the forward out of Iowa, the younger brother of Keegan Murray. He goes to the Golden State Warriors. And then the Rockets land Jalen Hood-Scafino, guard out of Indiana. Now, who do you guys think is the biggest sleeper in this year's NBA draft? Victor Wembanyama? No, he's the opposite of a sleeper. Someone who's maybe under the radar that, could end up being a big-time player right away. Late first round, someone like that. Who do you guys think it is? Drop a name in the comments. 21 through 25 here. The Nets get back-to-back picks. Leonard Miller, another Ignite player, and G.G. Jackson, guard out of South Carolina. Trailblazers get Noah Clowney, forward out of BAMA. I think Portland's a team to watch in this draft. Do they move up in the lottery? Do they package their first-round picks to get a star next to Damian Lillard? I think that's interesting to keep in mind. Colby Jones, the wing out of Xavier, goes to Sacramento at 24 overall. Then Max Lewis, the wing out of Pepperdine, lands with the Memphis Grizzlies. Wrapping things up here, 26 through 30. Jaime Jaquez out of UCLA. He goes to Indiana. Derek Whitehead, forward out of Duke, goes to Charlotte. City Sissoko goes to the Utah Jazz, the guard out of the G League Ignite again there. Bryson Sabaw, forward or wing out of Ohio State, another Pacers draft pick here. And then James Nagy, the center out of Barcelona, wraps up our pre-lottery mock draft, which, by the way, on Tuesday, once the lottery is announced, we'll have a post-lottery mock draft, so be on the lookout for that. Producer Coop cooked up these projections, so if you're dropping F grades in the chat, well, Coop's used to that. A lot of Fs when he was in college. Kidding. C's, of course. C's get degrees. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade Coop's mock. Let us know. We'll be reading them. We'll see you guys soon with more NBA content.